Olivia Price, like a fine red wine, getting better with age, and our machines are getting better with every minute on the water. And already we're underway for race 2. Who's made the best of the early going, Tess?
It's a close start, Nick. All boats are on starboard. We've got a bit more breeze, so they're foiling nicely here. You can see pavement. Looks like they're going for an early manoeuvre, tacking, first ones to tack onto port. Record Point are going to reach the boundary line first. They're the most lured boat going into attack now. But the winner starts here have come from Euroflex and Team ID. They've got great lanes, and you can see they can carry that starboard tack all the way to the boundary line.
We ride on board with Pavement, and Jimmy, a great start for your former team.
Yeah, look, you can see all the teams are fully lit now, and Record Point are off to a great start, so hopefully they can convert this up the beat.
Again, the team to catch is most certainly Euroflex. They made it look easy in our first race of the day. What can we expect from the second race, Jack?
Yeah, Nick, the Euroflex team are doing a very nice job of getting further up the track through staying in a higher mode. This means that they're going a shorter distance to the top mark, so eking out a little lead at the moment.
What about these big freighters, these huge container ships? What role will they have on the wind patterns?
It's already a very narrow racetrack, so this just makes it more interesting because they've got to do more tacks and more jibes. I don't think it's going to affect the breeze all that much at the moment. It's a very straight down the guts breeze, but expect some action around the top mark with the barroways.
Tessa Parkinson, straight down the guts. Is that a Bureau of Meteorology term or a SuperFoiler special?
Look, that's quite traditional racing. It's a straight upwind and a straight downwind, which means you can see these boats on the upwind, they've got a tack. You can't sail straight into the wind because the boat will just go backwards. So they're tacking at about 45-degree angle either side of the wind direction.
And Jimmy, it sounds like the wind is whirling out there at the moment. How hard is it to communicate when it does start to pick up like that?
Yeah, look, it's really tough to start to communicate when it does get this windy. You will hear the boats at certain times start whistling, and the faster you go, the louder that will get. So it can be really difficult, especially in the manoeuvres.
Whenever you're ready, goose. Yep.
It might be hard going out there, but still time for a laugh aboard Euroflex. And why not, when you've won the first 2 in convincing fashion, why not have a bit of fun out there in South Australia? Just soak it up, enjoy the moment, know you're the 3 best in the world, and everyone else at the moment, Tessa, is just playing catch up.
Yeah, you can see how enjoyable these boats are to sail in this wind strength. It's, 13 to 14 knots. This building sea breeze we've got out there is just ideal conditions. You can see they're easier to maintain stable flight off the water. They're not touching down so much.
What do you reckon, Goose?
All on you, CJ. Not me on the rock wall. Could be just one and in, eh?
And already 2 races in, maybe fatigue starting to set in a little bit. Everyone on board all of a sudden with an opinion that counts as Euroflex round their first marker in this, our 3rd race of the series here in Adelaide.
A lot of pressure on for the top mark Barraway. It's a 180-degree turn around here, trying to stay foiling, but Team ID, they've gone in close to the rocks. Not as much pressure there, so Ed Powers at the top backing the jib to get the bow away to come back towards the top gate.
Just get track for me, ready, track.
Okay, gain big here, boys. Trabs at your feet.
You get a good idea of just how much work Ed Powers does on the boards there. He's, according to our DEXA body scan, one of the leanest, meanest and most agile of all the athletes, and easy to see why he's shedding so much weight. He's working so hard.
And it looks like at the top mark, that right-hand side is just an easier curve to go around because you've got more time after the barraway before the jibe. Whoa, lots of pressure on there for Team Pavement. So trying to get through the max power zone, they've just stalled out there. James, what do they have to do to get through that manoeuvre?
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to pull off these barroways in this much wind, and the biggest advantage you can have is be going as fast as possible and be up on the foils, and that's going to help you pull through that power window and get the boat away.
My word, they get close to those markers. A couple of the guys, Dan Morris almost collected it earlier. They really do get nice and close. They really want to minimise the distance they can travel and get the speed up as quick as they can. It's pretty wet work out there on your old ride Record Point there, Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. If you get it right, you'll just get absolutely carted down the course and take so many metres out to the teams that can't quite pull them off, as you see Record Point still struggling a bit all the way to this lay line, and another down speed job.
Well, there's still plenty to fight for as 2, 3 and 4, ID, Pavement and Record Point eyeball each other. They'll close the gap after this. The backdrop is absolutely beautiful and the skirmish is still on here in South Australia. Euroflex does have a handy lead, but that could all vanish soon enough. No doubt about that, Tess.
Big pressure lane opportunities, and there's about 17 knots now, so the boats are able to foil jibe almost and build great speeds on the downwind. On board here with Team ID.
Yeah, the guys are working super hard here. It's getting towards the end of the race and their heart rates will be almost at max, and they're still got to try and make some clear decisions.
Sounding like Fang's just run up a set of stairs there. He's absolutely gasping for air.
They're pushing these boundary lines pretty hard, going right into the container ships so they can get a long runway out of the jibe.
So what Euroflex are doing so well in this series so far is that they're coming into these bottom gates really fast, which means they can exit just as fast, foiling straight back onto the upwind.
Getting an idea of those distances as Euroflex turns the marker. It's almost 5 football fields is the next best. Such is the skill, such is the precision of the trio on Euroflex. It is a delight to watch.
Almost just displacement into this tack, eh? 5 away, Goobs. 3, 2, 1.
Windward foil goes down before the tack here. As that windward foil goes down, the bowman's got to take their crew weight off the wire, so the skipper's got to feather the boat a little bit closer to the wind to lose some of the power to turn through.
Yeah, and awesome comms there from Glenn, actually calling to not foil at that time. So if you try and push the foil when there's not enough wind, you're just losing ground, sailing extra distance trying to get the boat up and into the air. So really clear comms from him there saying, nah, let's just keep it in the water and wait for that next gust.
Clean made going into a jibe here. They're doing well, gaining some ground on the downwind, and main sheet trimmer here, Josh McKnight, he's a Moth World champion, sailing well.
The human cleat.
And some self-reflection there from Glenn Ashby, calling himself a human cleat. That is just absolute comedy gold from one of the funniest men in the boat park.
Maybe he's getting tired. It's a bit hard to keep working the main in this pressure, or he got it wrapped around his foot. I'm not sure there, Nick.
Well, you'd think all the strength in his arms from the America's Cup when hoisting the old mug would have strengthened him up, as those boys get really close to cleaning themselves on one of the spectator boats too. And why not? It's the best seat in the house. They could have almost high-fived the skipper of that craft.
It's all right. Big E's is good, eh?
Yeah, and there you can hear Glenn asking for big eases, just confirming with Nath that what he's doing is feeling good from the back of the boat. That's just keeping the boat in that accelerating mode.
Yeah, Glenn, they're talking about easing the main sheet to reattach the flow. When the boats drop speed, you start to sail to your true wind again, and to reattach that flow, you've really got to ease a lot of sheet, get the depth back in the sail, build your boat speed, and then trim it on to reduce the drag.
And it is such a fine margin. You need to get everything right. There's the battle for second and third. ID and Pavement, 2 familiar foes. They went toe-to-toe in the last, and they're lining each other up again.
The pressure's a bit more varied over the course now, so it's going to be a close upwind. Pavement coming into the ley line with a bit less speed. Team ID with a clear rounding. So this is going to be close on the upwind. Pavement rounding the bottom mark, so they're going from sailing downwind to an upwind angle. So they've rounded to about 45 degrees to the wind. What's got to happen in that manoeuvre, James?
Yeah, so it's a big transition going around those bottom marks. And what we see Euroflex doing so well is just rounding with speed. And you see these two teams here not quite getting it right and a little bit slow around that bottom mark. But we're just going to go from that powered up setting downwind to flattening the sails because we're turning upwind onto the breeze and try and get the boat moving again.
So the closer the angle you are to the wind, so on the upwind, you've got to have the sails right down the midline, the centre of the boat, really pinned in. And then on the downwind, you can ease them to really get the wind behind you.
Yeah, so you can see here that we flatten off the sails a lot, sheet them in really tight and reduce the drag. try and make the boats as efficient as possible, and you can see Pavement there just struggling to get underneath that spectator boat there, really overpowered, and they've got this heel. They need to flatten the boat, ease the sheets and get it moving.
They had both of the main foils in the water there, James. Do you think that was making it hard for them to bear away?
Yeah, possibly a little hard for them to bear away there. And you can see right here, Goob's doing such a nice job dropping that board, really dropping with a perfect rake, which makes it just glide down and makes his job easier.
Well, windward heel's pretty nice out of it, eh?
So they're talking about the angle of heel. So windward heel means that the mast is angled towards the sailors, and that, Glenn was saying to us, it feels nice. So deloads the boat having that mast on top of you.
Yeah, they've got the boat absolutely ripping here, everything in sync and really efficient.
Oh, that's better. Bit of camo for me.
So Fang Warren on main calling for some more Cunningham. So that's a good depowering tool to flatten the sail and decrease the drag and get the boat working more efficiently.
And the headmaster, Paul Campbell-James, says not a priority. He's too busy closing down the gap on Euroflex and putting a bit more cushion into Pavement as well. As he looks back, surveys the scene, and I think he'd like what he's seeing.
Use those lats.
Asking to use his lats some more. Someone who's got powerful lats is Jack. What's happening with Euroflex?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Just looking at the Euroflex tacking for the final time going into the top marks. The breeze is built and is now at about 17 knots. This is going to be a big bear away. And Nathan and Glenn and Goobs are really up for this sort of stuff. So they're going to get into a foiling mode and rip it away. So keep your eyes on this, because they're going to go from 20 knots to about 35 knots in a blink of an eye. There you go. And this is where you get the jet fighter look about the boat. They're rolling up to top speeds right now.
Love it when a plan comes together. The Euroflex doing exactly that. Whistling Dixie at the front of the race here. 750 metres and climbing.
These boats are really picking up speed. You just go so much faster on the downwind, and you can hear that whistling noise. Is actually the foils tracking through the water there. Euroflex lifted a little bit high. You can see the L shape of the main foils just pierce the top of the water there. It's easy to get stall out, so a lot of accuracy is required.
Really slow here for a bit. Twisting a lot here. Here we go.
It's like being in a car when you go from super fast to a 50 zone. Everything seems slow.
We're good.
You can hear on the main sheet asking to, or twisting the main off a bit more here. Less trim, deepening the sail, getting the power, building speed, and then they'll start to sheet it on.
So what they're trying to pull off here is a full foiling jibe. So you can see here they've made it most of the way through, and they've just crashed down at the end there, but they won't be too unhappy with that. They've made it most of the way through and carried quite a lot of their speed.
Power coming on now.
Gee, they're really not far away from nailing a full foiling jibe. Tessa Parkinson, it must come soon.
Yeah, look, this is early days in the boats. The guys haven't had a lot of training time, so each race they're just improving, you know, more and more. So I'm sure by Sydney we'll be able to see the full foiling jibe, which will be pretty cool to see. You can see the buttons on the tiller here. There's, for the skipper, there's one on the main tiller arm when you're sitting down on the tramp, and there's a second set of buttons out on the end of the tiller arm. So they're the electronics that control the lift through the rudders and through the leeward main L foil.
90. Max trim.
Fang Warren just saying he's at max trim there.
It's quite common, you hear them call 70, 80, that's the percentage they are off max main trim.
And we're almost at 100%, reaching our climax ASAP. The hustle and muscle of ID Intranet still fighting on, pushing all the way, stalking Euroflex, making sure they know they're not home and hosed just yet.
This sea breeze has come in nicely, so we've seen some top speeds out on the racetrack. All the three crew getting out on the wire here. Look, ID's overlaid the top mark here.
My Trav, your main. Okay, chuck main to me.
And a bit of confusion as it was all unfolding as well, a bit of chaos.
It's not easy coming into a bearaway, not being at max speed, James.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw them overlay that mark and have to duck below it, overpowered, trying to get the boat under control to get it away.
No, it's all good. She's just going.
You see there, Glenn Ashby working super hard on that main sheet.
So, one more lap, eh? No? One more lap?
We've been to the bottom once. It's only 2 laps, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Oh, good. Copy that.
Bit of course confusion on board, Nick.
Ian Jensen just adding the mathematics on board and working out they have done enough. They're all good to close in on another victory. They are on their final leg, despite the confusion there for a moment.
Yeah, they've done an absolutely awesome job this race. A little bit of time up their sleeve here, and they're just going to take a few seconds to catch their breath.
Just to make a bit of a point of it. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it does, eh?
It does, really.
Yeah. Hey?
Every millimetre matters, no doubt about that, Jack. A clean mate going okay, or are they dragging the chain?
Oh, well, it's easy to say they're dragging the chain, but I think they're doing a great job. This is really tough conditions, and Liv and the guys have just got through Phil, and they're really sailing really well.
Here's our terrific trio prancing on to a treble of victories. They're the best in the business, world class, and again, they just make it look too easy.
So that finish line spans the bay, the black and white checkered mark at the front of the container ship, and then down on the bottom left-hand screen, that's the committee boat. So they're going straight through that finish line right now.
I believe the technical term for that finish is going up through the guts.
Yeah, look, the guys will be stoked with that. They've got the gun smoke this race, and make no mistake, it is extremely windy out there. This is really top-end conditions for these boats. Obviously, these guys are a little more polished than the others, and that's why they're able to put the race away so easily, but it's absolutely all on for these other teams at the moment.
One good thing, James, they are easy boats to rest on in between races. You can see just coasting downwind easily, sitting on the tramp, trying to grip the bow and the main sheet guys a bit of a rest. On board ID here, they're smoking it on the downwind, coming into the finish here. 3-point foiling. This is pretty cool to see, James.
Yeah, good to see them got the board up and going absolutely full pace. With a little more wind, they can pull that off. But don't get me wrong, it's absolutely on a knife edge with that board up, and it'll be extremely unstable as they come up for this jibe here.
Little cavalier there from Paul Campbell, James. Just willing to risk it for the biscuit, and why not? They want to close out another second place. They want to put more distance on them and pavement on the overall regatta leaderboard. And sometimes you've just got to push if you want to take home the cookies.
Looks like, James, they might have found an in-between mode, just compromising having the windward board lifted up at 3-point foiling for max speed, but then just having the 2 crew out on the wire so they can still go that lower angle and really get some depth down the course.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a really fine balance as you see. Ed Power's just diving under the main there.
2 crew in, they're just avoiding one of the shipping marks, shipping channel marks.
On board with record point, and Phil Robertson not happy with the tiller there.
Right, boys, I'm just out of control here.
Just said he's out of control, and he's not wrong there. They planted it.
Wow, it's capsized over. It looks like he lost control of the rudder buttons there. They might have just swiveled around the rudder arm.
Phil Robertson gives the all clear as record point starts sinking, Jack.
Yeah, that was a big nosedive. They accelerated and the boat flew higher, and then they've just done a big nosedive and cartwheeled, and so that's a special capsize, that one. So we've got the safety guys in there straight away, and they'll help get the boat upright and make sure the sailors are all healthy and okay.
We just don't have a boat. Sorry, boys.
At least they're in good spirits on board.
True story, eh? Guys, I'm out of control here.
Yeah, and he's admitting there he just didn't have control, and waboomfa, that's a new one. We must add that into the commentary, as this is a moment it all went wrong for them, and Phil called it. And then thankfully he called out to let us know that everyone was okay as he comes sliding down there.
Yeah, so what we saw there is his rudder buttons and his main foil control buttons actually swiveling upside down. So as his brain is trying to think twice as fast as to which button to push, he's gone the wrong way there and sent the boat into the sky and then down the mine.
We're going to go turtle here, eh? Try and get on this hull.
And that's another look at just how precarious these superfoilers are when they start tipping over. You don't have any prospect of resurrecting them, and not a bad holding on effort there from Phil as he just disappears, and a great effort from these guys. ID Intranet crossing in second. They're second for the day, and even more of a cushion now over the pavement trio. They'll be loving that as Ed Powys takes a moment just to compose himself and get some water and celebrate a job well done ahead of these guys. Pavement crossing in third.
Pavement just through the finish line now, within the time limit. They've done a great job getting around the course here, foiling through the downwind.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the different modes working here, and this is what we talk about when they're on all four boards. So, but it's very stable, and you can see here just practicing another jibe and absolutely smoking that one. That's perfect. That's one of the best jibes we've seen today.
It was entry speed. Keep working here, we're not quite trying to...
As the salvage operation down on Record Point continues, they managed to get it upright here on Outer Harbour. It's a great job from all concerned, including the three sailors who've spent more time swimming in the last little while than they have dry. They'll be relieved she's upright, but it's going to be a hard ask to get Record Point ready for the final race on our Saturday program.
Yeah, really tough to see that for those guys. They're really starting to get on a roll here, but they need a big reset if they want to get in this next race.
This is how it all panned out across race 3. Euroflex notching up their treble. ID again with the spoils of second, and Steve Thomas pushing all the way. The question remains, can anyone climb the wall that is Euroflex and go on to claim a win? We'll find out soon.